Well, good morning. I'm not going to wait another hour and 11 minutes for 555 to get here. I've had this blurb and everything ready for an hour, and it's long enough. Anyway, the title is, Must We Succumb to Matrix Programming for World War III? I just watched a short video in which David Icke is talking about ISIS being the start of World War III, and I do provide the link to that. The interviewer ends with the comment, "To understand the future, we have to understand the past." Is that comment true, or is it programming? May I be so bold as to suggest that if we project the future from the past, we will only get more of the same thing we've always gotten. To me, the solution is to see the future we want and bring that visualization into the present. In this way, we can release the anchors of the past, our programming, and co-create a better world. We have to be wiser than the heartless ones who, lacking empathy and compassion, plan mayhem and fund chaos. We have to find within ourselves the love that reprograms our minds and transforms us from the inside out. I've long been an admirer of David Icke. I mean, he's one of the teachers that I've relied upon for the past, at least since 2001, and probably even earlier than that, although I can't remember when I first came across him, but it was at least as far back as 2001. And one of the reasons that I've liked him compared to some of the other people that have been saying what's going on in the world is he always seems to come up with something that provides a solution, something that provides some hope that we can build on for the future. And we don't have to get trapped in the conspiracy of the world plan to dominate and control everything and create a system where there is no freedom, where everything is programmed and controlled by an elite establishment that has no compassion, has no heart, has no empathy. And David accurately describes the mindset and the heart status of these individuals in the establishment, some of whom are part of the dragon family. Because dragon families have run the world. And I think I'm at a particular point in time that I'm seeing what I've longed for is to see some transformation take place at the level of the elite with the dragon family. And it's my prayer and my hope that the people that I'm dealing with through the ambassador and that he's introducing me to are actually parts of this elite establishment, this bloodline community, if you will, that have transcended their own programming, their own inbreeding of breeding out compassion, breeding out empathy, making them heartless, and having this plan to totally encapsulate the world in their dark agenda, the Agenda 21, which those of us that study these things are familiar with. In any case, I've been working also with some individuals who have certain issues in their lives that keep reoccurring. And as I'm working with these people, I'm seeing, hey, the reason I'm able to see what's going on with you is because I've been doing the same thing myself. I've been looking at what I've experienced, my past, and I've been projecting it into my future. I do that most, and the most painfully, in the area of relationships. And no, I'm not going to get into that in great detail, except to say that I've always believed that I get it wrong. I've always believed that no matter what I do, it's not good enough. I always believe that whatever love I have, it's not enough. I always want more. And so I'm always looking at the lack aspect. I'm always looking at what's wrong, not what's right, but what's wrong. And so I keep building more things that are wrong, because life has a tendency to support us in whatever our expectation is. And I'm not talking about what we say with our minds and our egos, because often that's actually at odds with the subconscious beliefs, the ones we've been programmed to repeat over and over and over again. Are we only going to be able to see the future by looking backwards? Or are we going to see a future that we haven't experienced yet, looking forward at a world celebrating peace, looking forward to a world that celebrates the creativity of the human spirit, that celebrates the compassion of the human heart, that celebrates the natural empathy, the natural productivity, the natural love that we are, that sees that as the driving force, rather than the things that have happened which only produce fear. Now, I wish I had thought of that, to plan that, but let me see if I can find it really quickly. I don't know if I will or not, but let me go to my Facebook page and see how far down I've got. Oh, it's not too far. Fear. We live in fear, and we're programmed. Matrix programming is a fear programming. Most conspiracy theorists, which I don't consider them theories at all, most conspiracies, there is conspiracies, and they're not theories, they're facts. But in any case, most of it is programmed by fear. We've got a fear that we're not going to be able to get what we want. We're not going to be able to get the relationship we want, so we have to settle. We're not going to be able to get the job that we want, so that we're going to have to settle. We're not going to be able to live in a world that our personalities and our individualities are honored and our rights are respected. So we have to settle for variations of evil. The lesser of what is often referred to as the lesser of two evils, but it's still evil, because that's the way the world works, and that's how the Matrix programs us. Fear has two meanings. I can think of another one. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. I posted that. I saw that, and I posted it on my Facebook wall and my Facebook page, which doesn't have a limit of how many people, and it still doesn't even have 1,000 people on that one. Why aren't you gravitating toward my page instead of my wall? I have a waiting list on my wall, on my normal Facebook page. There's 48 people, and I'm at 5,000, and they don't even take new friend requests as long as I'm at 5,000. Somebody has to quit, or I have to remove somebody because I realize they're either dead or it's a duplicate or something else, which I do on occasion. Anyway, we don't have to accept the programming. That's the point that I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm getting when I'm counseling individuals in regard to relationships, and realizing that they have the same relationship issues that I've always had. How do I see what they're doing? Because it's me. They're just mirroring back to me, and I can see the problem much more clearly when I'm looking at them than I can when I'm looking at me. Because I tend to be stuck in the programming. I tend to be recycling the same pattern, the same thought over and over and over again. The thought that I'm not good enough, the thought that no matter what I do, it's going to be inadequate. These thoughts, I get recycled. But it's hard to even recognize them because you're in them. So you need perspective. That's why the universe provides us mirrors of other people that have the same issues that we have. And we can forget everything and run. Okay, maybe you have an issue that you're afraid of sexuality because you've been wounded there. So when sexual issues start coming up for you, instead of dealing with the issues, you push the person away and you run. Okay, that's what some people do. Okay, but we do that. The way we handle anything in our lives is the way we handle everything. Thank you, Sue Bailey, for that. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. And we can keep doing the programming of repeating past things, going back to see what we did in the past and recreating it in the present so that our future is nothing but a continuation of what we've always known. Wasn't it Einstein who said that's insanity? To think that we can solve a problem with the same thinking that created the problem in the first place? Yeah. But isn't that what we do? Isn't that what the Matrix is? Isn't it just a program that we run in our unconscious? And when we become aware of it and take hold of it, then it no longer is unconscious. So our job is to make the unconscious conscious. How do we do that? By facing everything and rising to a new level of awareness, of finding ourselves, instead of victims in a world that we are powerless, finding ourselves creators in a world where we are powerful and where we recognize the power of our nature, which is to love, which is to forgive, which is to be grateful for things, which is to forgive and forget and let go. Our nature is to be able to transform and transcend any situations, facing everything truthfully, not playing the denial game, not playing the avoid dance. No, we face all of our issues honestly. We tell the truth about them, and we make a different choice. We make a choice that we've not made before. We make a choice to stand in our truth, to stand in our strength, to stand in our compassion, to stand in the qualities that are going to build the world and the life that we want to build. And the world is our life. We cannot separate ourselves from the world. That's bullshit, that you can separate yourself from the world. There is no separation. You are interconnected, like it or not. You are part of the web of life. So am I. We all are. Get over it. This is our experiential reality. Now, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to just point fingers and say, they're the problem, they're the problem, they're the problem? No, we've got to start saying, I'm the problem. Something in me keeps recreating this. And we've got to start looking at the world that we want and choosing from the place we want to go, not from the place where we've already been, unless we want to just keep repeating. If you want to keep repeating your lessons until you finally get them, which we do anyway, if that's what you want to do, keep doing it. Keep doing it. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to be on a treadmill that you keep moving and moving and moving and getting nowhere, and your heart is beating faster and faster, and you're having arrhythmias. You're having all these problems going on inside of you physically, physiologically, because you're stressed out, because you're still caught in the matrix programming that what you've always gotten is all you're ever going to get. And you don't want it, and you rail against it, and you fight against it, but the universe is giving you exactly what you've always expected you were going to get, because nothing has any meaning except the meaning you give it. We provide the meaning. Are we going to continue to look at where we've been, look only at our pain? I'm not saying to avoid the pain. I'm not saying to deny the pain. I'm not saying to deny any of your past experiences. I'm not saying that at all. You're not hearing me if that's what is coming through to you, because I'm not saying that. I'm saying look at it and feel the feelings and ask yourself the question, is this what I want? Say thank you for the feelings of sadness, of grief, of rage, of anger, of shame, of whatever the feelings are that are coming up for you. Say thank you for those feelings. They are signposts. We talked yesterday about the signs of change. Well, when you can recognize the sign and you can read the sign and you say, I don't live in a world that has no meaning. I don't live in a world where nothing matters. I live in a world that has meaning, that promises me fulfillment, and that meets my expectations and my needs to the point that I allow it. Now we can overrun the universe's programming to do good. And we do that by succumbing to the Matrix's programming of fear. False evidence appearing real. It's all fiction. It's all a lie. We live in a fictional world. Do the elite have no compassion? Do they have no empathy? It would appear so. But what if we began to project compassion on them by surrounding them with love? By turning the lights on so bright that their deeds created in darkness and planned in darkness are exposed before they're able to create the World War III and all of the other horrible scenarios that have been prophesied and predicted. Are we locked into those predictions? Is that the way it has to be? Or can we rise above and change the future by changing our perception in the present? In the present moment, we can bring the past in, and we can, instead of writing the story that says we're always going to be a victim, we say, oh, I created all of these experiences so that I could gain wisdom. We transform our meaning of what we've experienced from one that was, oh, poor, poor, pitiful me, to one of, wow, I gave myself a gift so that I could wake myself up, so that I could remember who I really am, and I could make new choices. I could make the choice to love instead of fear. I could make the choice to embrace my life instead of trying to run away from it. I can make the choice to be compassionate and forgive myself and say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And really love you. Love yourself. You keep waiting for somebody else to love you. We keep waiting for somebody else to save us. And there is nobody else. There's only us. Now, when I say that, everybody out there is also you. In Lakesh, you are just another me. Namaste. What's in me is in you. Good and bad. Everything is in everybody. Some people don't believe that. I do. Everything is in everybody. Because it's all cut from the same fabric, and I do believe we live in a holographic universe. I do believe that that's how the world really is. The world that we're creating today is going to be based on whether we're creating it from the past or from the future. I choose to let the future pull me forward so that the greatest part of my life is still in front of me. I choose not to go back into the past and say, wow, life really sucks. And I create the future where life sucks. No, we don't need to succumb to matrix programming for World War III, or for Earth, or for cataclysmic Earth changes, or for any scenario that we've heard about and has been predicted and implanted in our conscious minds so that we could create evil instead of good. We can turn it around anytime we want. We can experience the enantiodromia, the reverse flow of energy, anytime we choose to. But we need to let go of the anchors of the past, or the things that anchor us to the past, and allow the magnet of the future to draw us ahead so that we can transform ourselves and thereby transform the entire world. Thank you for listening. Namaste.